All right, let me scan the audience here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's number 5.
Same bunch.
Yeah.
You can take your hat off.
I missed out on the last one. Missed out on the last one. Well, they better hurry this up, and it's almost 4 o'clock.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. If you ever wondered about the technology behind how things are made, well, today I plan on giving you a little bit of insight into that technology. I'd like to talk to you today about manufacturing and how it has progressed over the last 100 years. I've been interested in how things work since I was a kid, and I hope some of these things spark your interest as well. I've worked in the manufacturing industry for over 20 years, and during that time I've seen a lot of changes in technology and several processes become more automated. Those of you who are curious as to how things are made should enjoy learning some history of the manufacturing process and how it's changed. I'd like to discuss a few of the great advances in technology that have changed the manufacturing process. Let's begin with the man responsible for the first automated manufacturing process in history, Henry Ford. Henry Ford and his team of engineers probably did more than anyone in history to advance the manufacturing process. Ford's first attempt at an assembly line was done in 1908. His first attempt was unsuccessful. He still had quite a few bugs to work out of the system. And in 1913, Ford had the first successful assembly line, and the production of his Model T increased fourfold with the same amount of workforce. This version of the assembly line was far ahead of its time. It was not only power-driven, but it was also timed with the use of cams and pulleys to vary the speed of the line to accommodate for each one of the particular processes of each stage of manufacturing. Keep in mind that Ford was able to accomplish this 100 years ago. Alright, now let's talk about the next technological breakthrough that changed manufacturing forever: the electrification of America. The electrification of America is the single most important factor in spurring the Industrial Revolution. The electrification process began in the early 1900s and continued through the 1950s. The availability of electric power, now even in rural areas, made it possible for manufacturing to spread from the big cities all the way throughout the United States, thereby tapping into a huge, previously unused workforce. Electric power being much cheaper and more available than previously used steam power made almost every task easier, faster, and more productive. Many tasks are once done by hand are now aided by the use of electric motors and power tools. Now let's move on to the next item I want to discuss: programmable logic controller, PLC. The first PLC was used in manufacturing in 1968 by General Motors at their Hydromatic transmission facility. Dick Morley is credited with inventing this PLC. Now, the PLC revolutionized the manufacturing process forever. Prior to 1968, the assembly lines were controlled by relay logic, which was all hardwired switches, relays, and cams. And every time there was a model change, these relay banks had to be rewired by hand, which took a lot of time and money. PLC was invented basically to take the place of these relays. Now, with the PLC, instead of having to rewire by hand every time there was a model change, you simply had to change the program. This could be done in a fraction of the time and expense, since it only took one programmer instead of a team of electricians. Now we've discussed some of the most important and interesting technological breakthroughs in manufacturing history. I hope that going over some of these important events has given you an appreciation for how far the manufacturing process has come over the past 100 years. I'd like for you all to reflect on how far ahead of their time many of these inventions were. And I hope you're as excited as I am to see what new technology we may get to see in our own lifetimes. Thank you all for coming. You see the cameras, scan the audience, scan everybody for you.
Yep.
Yeah.